Oh, that's a great way to start a video. Hey, I'm Oda and welcome back to my channel. Are you stoked about being pregnant but also had moments of feeling less than excited about your new voluptuous body? In this video, I'm going to talk about body image during pregnancy and how to deal with negative thoughts that pop into your mind about how your body looks. I'll also share some scrumptious body positive and body nurturing tools with you. So let's get into it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. Let's start with something that may sound really obvious. Gaining weight during pregnancy is totally normal. The questions that have popped into my brain have been how much weight is healthy and how much weight should I expect to gain? So I'll share with you what I found. According to the NHS website, it depends on your weight before you become pregnant. Weight gain in pregnancy varies greatly. Most pregnant women gain between 10 kilos and 12.5 kilos, putting on most weight after week 20. Much of the weight gained is due to your baby growing, but your body will also be storing fat ready to make breast milk after your baby is born. The thing is, regardless of whether or not you are within this normal range, you may still not be feeling so happy about what you see in the mirror. And it might not just be about the weight. Stretch marks, skin breakouts, hair loss, these things can happen during pregnancy. For a lot of women, watching their bodies change rapidly and out of their control can bring up old or existing body image stuff. And with hormones flying everywhere, fatigue and mood swings are likely too. And this can add to that feeling of insecurity and the tendency to be critical about our reflection. So this has been the case for me, especially in the last few weeks when I've been going through that stage of pregnancy where there is no obvious bump there yet. Honestly, I've just felt a little bit podgy and bloated. So if you feel this way, you're definitely not alone. And I just want to say that I'm obviously super thrilled that a brand new tiny human has taken up residence in my body. And at the same time, these remnants of old thought patterns have resurfaced. And I found myself saying inwardly things like, I feel fat when I look in the mirror, and feeling seriously frumpy and uncomfortable when putting on clothes that don't fit so well anymore. I think it's fair to say that if you've had a poor self-image at some point before your pregnancy, it's more likely that you'll have a few insecurities come up again now, even if you've done a lot of inner work to deal with them like I have. I was frankly a bit surprised, like, hey body demons, I dealt with you a while back and you're still here. Fancy that. Okay, so I thought I would share with you a few tools that have been really helpful for me during this time. Firstly, they are just thoughts. Not getting caught up in it. Dropping back into that acknowledgement that it's just thought. Just because a thought enters our head doesn't mean that we have to think that it's true. You might not be able to control your thoughts, what pops into your mind, but you can control whether you feed into that thought and whether you let it hang around in your brain for days. This is like reprogramming your mind. When something comes up, like a negative body thought, just acknowledge it and perhaps ask why it's there. Like sometimes things come up because there's something else happening in our lives that we feel is disturbing or painful in some way, and we reflect that back to us and start feeling bad about our own bodies. So asking why it's there or what else is going on is really helpful. But in the end, ultimately, it is just a thought and it doesn't have any more power than you give it. Let it be and let it go. I know it's not easy, I know that, but it is that simple. Just not believing it. Coming back to your breath, coming back to your senses, coming back to the here and now, and just being like, oh yeah, it's just a thought. Probably the number one thing that has helped me. I think it's important to talk about context as well. Like, our society bombards us with images of ideal beauty for women. We're in a culture that is very much about image and what things look like. Social media feeds, TV and video and, screens. It's really easy for us to think that we need to look a certain way in order to be acceptable. And actually the most important thing is what something feels like, what your body feels like, what you feel like. And so getting grounded into your senses, your feelings, your emotions is really where it's at, in my opinion. And also understand that your worth has nothing at all to do with weight. Your worth is so much more. It is not dependent on what you look like. There are as many standards of beauty as there are people, and you're beautiful in your own right. No matter what is on the outside of this temporary meat sack, you're worthy of love, you are enough, you're capable, your body is doing this incredible, miraculous thing. How you look has got nothing to do with you being enough. We're just trained to think that way. So scrap the number. The number doesn't tell you anything apart from the gravitational pull of your mass. Affirmations can be really, really helpful. They are little mantras that you say over and over in your mind. Again, like training your mind to think of something different or just have a different story running in your head rather than the self-critical thoughts. So how you can get to some affirmations that feel really good to you is journaling. So there are 2 ways of doing this. You can just start writing down like a list of I am statements, and then narrow it down to maybe 2 or 3 that feel like it connects to some kind of truth, that you really want to feel that way on a daily basis. Another way is to write out your fears and the way that you feel about your body, and then cross each one out and write an affirmation that would kind of be the opposite of that fear. What would help you pull yourself out of that fear, if that makes sense. Write it in present form, like an I am identity statement. When you get down to the core identity of something, that's when change can really happen. So I am enough, I am beautiful, and then write them out. Like put them on your phone screen, home screen, or put them on your bathroom mirror or on the door. The second thing for me that has been really, really helpful has been to focus on self-care and nourishing. So quality of food, making sure that you're giving yourself space to eat really mindfully, going outside into sunshine and like taking your shoes off and feeling the earth between your toes. That's really grounding and helps you get back into your body. It's helpful for what I was saying before. Yeah, making sure that you're really hydrated so that you're not feeling tired and adding to that fatigue that we tend to feel during pregnancy. Getting a really good sleep routine in so that at least you're setting yourself up for like calming down before bedtime so that you can at least try and get as much quality sleep as possible. I know it's not always the easiest thing to actually put into action. I've definitely been learning this. Meditating is really helpful. These are just kind of really simple self-care tools that you can use. Taking care of your body instead of worrying about what it looks all the time. Movement, feeling into and getting back into your body and really noticing how it functions rather than what it looks like. I'm talking about things like yoga or Pilates or going for a really nice walk in nature in the woods or something else gentle like dancing. Dancing is beautiful for getting back into that sensual feeling around your body. So putting on your favorite song and like jamming it out, or putting on like some nice slow music and literally moving your hips and really getting into that space where you're just closing your eyes and forgetting about the world around you. Hot tip, if you can do this naked, that's really nice and really liberating. Try it. Be careful in the movement and exercise department not to get super obsessed. Fitness is really important during pregnancy, but when we have these negative thought patterns running about our bodies and we focus on flaws and weight and things like that, we can tend to overcompensate with exercise, and that's just not helpful to our bodies when it's doing so much already to build a new life. So really follow the feeling, follow what feels good to you, truly good to you, rather than on what you feel like you should do or need to do. Going outside, I mentioned that before, so nourishing and so lovely. It literally gives you the headspace to think and the headspace to have other thoughts than the same old cycle that's been going around your mind. It breaks that and it allows you to process and kind of get a different perspective. That would be one of the biggest things, is to go outside, go for a walk, sit down on the ground, listen to what's going on around you, feel into your body, connect with your baby and breathe the fresh air, and don't try and force any kind of different way of thinking or anything like that. Just be for a moment. Create a break in the cycle. Change up your perspective, change up your environment, and just see what that feels like. Touch is so healing, just so good. So next time you have a bath or you're in the shower, when you're lathering on soap or shampoo or whatever it is, body lotion afterwards maybe, really be mindful about the way that you're putting it onto your skin. Like, get back into the feeling and the sensation of what your body actually feels like when you touch it. This is really lovely. Lots of oxytocin gets produced. It's a really lovely experience to do that for yourself. Allowing yourself to receive can be a big thing for women. You know, receiving things like compliments or receiving things like touch or even asking for support can be a really, really big thing for a lot of us. But see if you can just try it, just test it. Asking your partner or asking your friend or even booking in for a massage. Getting back to that self-nourishment, giving to yourself and allowing yourself to receive. These are really gorgeous ways to, again, like, stop the pattern of thinking and get back into what feels good for your body. Another really good tool is something called mirror work. So this can feel really triggering or testing. I have been there. I know what it feels like. The task is to have a mirror, either a full-length mirror or just a handheld mirror, depending on which exercise you do. So with the full-length mirror, the challenge is to stand in front of the mirror, butt naked, after a shower or a bath, and just look at your body with almost like a universal perspective. Forget about you as an individual person and start instead to look at your body in terms of colours and shapes and softness, more objectively, more neutral perspective again, and see if you can come to a place of love. And what can be really helpful, actually this bleeds into the second exercise where you're holding like a handheld mirror and you're just looking yourself in the eyes, you're looking at your face, and you can talk to yourself. So talking to your reflection and letting the thoughts just come out. And if it's full of judgment, then just talk to your mirror, say what it is that you are feeling, but come back to, I am learning to like you, I'm learning to accept you. I'm finding it really hard to love you, but I am trying and I want to keep trying and I want to look after you. And keep going until you get to love. This is something that you can keep returning to. It's not something that will be perfect straight away. It really wasn't for me. It's almost like you're watching yourself as if you would watch your child, for example. Like, how would you look at your child? How would you look at someone that you really, really love? Imagine like the universe's perspective of what you look like. It's just love, right? It's just acceptance. So get into that perspective as much as possible, and if you don't get there straight away, don't worry. Just keep trying. That's all I ask. Oops, my battery ran out of battery. My battery ran out of battery? My camera ran out of battery. I think my camera was trying to tell me not to waffle too much, so I will just get to the point and get through this. I've got 2 more points. One of them is surrender. Literally my biggest lesson and mantra for this whole pregnancy. It's letting go of control. So when we have negative body thoughts, a lot of us get caught up in this sense of, I need to control my weight, I need to control the way that I look. And really, I think pregnancy is like the ultimate way of losing control. We are reminded every day of the fact that our bodies are running the show, and our bodies are so wise and so intelligent, way beyond what we can grasp with our minds. So learning to let go and trust our bodies is one of the most important things that we can do. It will be so helpful during birth, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very important thing when the baby is actually here as well. Because you can't control how your baby's going to be, you can't control how much it's going to sleep, how much it's going to cry, when a poo explosion is going to happen. You can't control how much sleep you're going to get. In a strange and beautiful way, this body image challenge that you and I are currently facing is preparing us for a moment in the future when we are just going to have to surrender, and instead of trying to control how everything is happening and what it looks like on the outside, instead being very mindful of what's happening on the inside and how we choose to respond. Okay, so final thing, support and community. So finding other like-minded mums, whether it's online or whether it's in a group, finding spaces where you feel you are comfortable to express with other women going through the same thing as you, because I promise that you won't be the only one. I promise you that other women will understand. Also opening up to trusted friends or your partner, really leaning into your support network. And if you need it, seek professional support. In the UK, you have the Mind charity, and you also have beateatingdisorders.com. If you feel like things are coming back, or you are currently struggling with something that is beyond the scope of you alone to tackle. If you feel like that's what you need, don't hesitate to seek professional support, because it's there and there is no shame in asking for help, ever. So final point, anything to help you relieve stress, anything that helps you calm your nervous system, like all the things I was talking about under the heading of nourish, really awesome. Massage, really awesome. Movement, really, really awesome. Expressing your feelings, really, really good thing. And yeah, just know that you're not alone. Know that you are not the only one facing this. It's not something that you have to be ashamed of. It's not your fault, given the society and culture that we've grown up with. And it is completely possible to get a grasp on it. So, final point. Focus on what your body is doing. It is building a human life. It is doing something absolutely miraculous. Without any conscious input from you, you are day by day growing a baby, and one day that baby's going to be in your arms and you're going to look at it and just think, oh my God, I made that. My body made that. Even though I have days when I just focus on the flaws, when I think about that, when I really, really think about that, I'm just in awe of how amazing my body is. So I think that's the final thought. So I hope that you found some of what I've said helpful. If you have any thoughts or questions or anything like that, drop them below in the comments. I would love the opportunity to respond to them. If you like this video, again, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I hope to see you next time. Okay, that's it. I'm gonna wait for that sound to stop. Wow, okay. Please go away, I'm recording. That heating is so loud. What is it with sounds? Come on! Wow. What? That just happened, that just came out. I bet all the time nowadays. Wow. Well done, body.